Justin Langer, what have you done? You took over as the head coach of the Australian cricket team following the sandpaper scandal, a time when there was no trust between them and the Australian public. You were tasked with having to rebuild morale in the team and the trust among the public. And now you do something far worse than the ball tampering scandal. A scandal more despicable and disgusting, and that brings the integrity of the game into serious disrepute. At least the ball tampering scandal was just scratching the surface of the ball to make it spin better. But this, sending one of your own players over to England, faking his identification, which by the way, Joe Burns could go to jail for that, sending one of your own players up to England to basically give yourselves a 12 to 10 player advantage, and worse, not only have an extra 2 players on your team, but one of them is purposely tanking the opposition. Justin Langer deserves to have been let go of Australian cricket coaching duties. Steve Smith should be sacked because this is the second serious controversy he's been involved in as a captain or vice captain. Patrick Cummings should probably be stripped from captaincy. Heck, even Tim Payne probably has something to do with this. I mean, probably before he was dropped from the test side, I'm sure he knew about this. And the whole of the Australian test squad and anyone involved should probably go. But disgustingly, Joe Burns only gets a 9-month ban for going over to another country, playing for a side you're not even eligible to play for, and purposely tanking them, pretending to be another player. Heck, even Steve Smith and David Warner got bigger bans for the ball tampering incident. That was a ball. But can we, as the Australian public, ever trust the Australian cricket team again? This is the second major on-field cheating scandal that Australia's committed over the last 4 years. First, it was the ball tampering scandal in 2018, and now the Joe Rory Burns shape-shifting scandal in the Ashes series. I mean, can we ever trust the Australian cricket team to play fairly and to play with integrity and not just win by cheating? Can we ever think of the Australian cricket team as not being cheats? To be completely honest, we should have seen that Joe Burns and Rory Burns were the same person all along. And to be honest, the England team has probably got to hold a similar investigation on how they got that badly fooled by Burns that they thought he was some English guy and let him go on their team. I mean, England's got to have an investigation, probably sack their coach too. But anyway, we should have known that it was Joe Burns because he was already dropped from the Australian test side last year, so he wasn't playing in Australia's test squad this year. He was an opener, just like Rory Burns. Coincidence? They both had Burns in their last name even. I mean, come on, think of a completely different name to change yourself, Joe. And everyone saw from a mile away was Joe when he started posting scores of 0, 0, 4, 13, 26 and 34. You cannot be this horrible as an opening batsman. You just can't, okay? The only possible explanation is that it was someone that was tanking. I mean, heck, Australia set their cheating ways with the very first ball of the Ashes series, when Mitchell Starc bowled out Rory Burns with the very first ball in the test. But no, we know what really happened. Joe Burns just allowed the ball to go straight into the stumps so that he could help Australia get a wicket out before the game had barely even started. And to be honest, given his scores in the rest of the Ashes series, Joe Burns did a pretty good job in helping Australia get the Ashes series, even if he did miss out the Melbourne and Sydney test. But here was the thing, we didn't even need Joe Burns to win the Ashes. England were that bad that we would have thrashed them anyway without him, as evident in the Melbourne test where we finished the game after just 2 days and an hour when Scott Boland went absolutely crazy. And there was no Joe Burns even there to tank. But now, we've had our Ashes stripped off us. We've lost our coach. We've lost a batsman who's probably never going to play a game for Australia again. We've got a broken playing squad with no morale. And it's going to take a very long time for the Australian cricket team to regain the trust of the Australian public. In all seriousness, that would have been the most reasonable explanation for Justin Langer's dismissal. I mean, what? Loss of confidence from the playing group. Sorry, for someone that's just led him to a World Cup win and an absolute slaughtering of an Ashes series where they absolutely demolished England in what should have been a 5-0 clean sweep if we hadn't lost out a day of rain. But for some reason, I don't know why, I can't comprehend why, the playing squad has lost confidence of Justin Langer. And it's sad, because he seemed to have been he was a really good coach, and he also seemed to have great morals as well. And he really rebuilt Australian cricket. And now it looks like, even though they didn't smuggle Joe Burns over to England, they still face a potentially broken playing squad now, and they still have lost trust with the Australian public. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens in the next few months of the Australian cricket team. But I think Justin Langer's dismissal could be a mistake. I hope you enjoyed this joke video. Please like, please comment, and subscribe. Comment what you thought of the video down below, and what's your opinion on Justin Langer's dismissal and what Joe Burns did. And check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.